Good evening, I'm Ian Hannamansing. Tonight, Canadian health officials map a possible path to normal.
It's going to be faster than many people predicted, but maybe not fast enough for many.
Why the next few weeks are crucial. Also tonight, the continuing violence in the Middle East. Our team is in the region. Widespread worries about a prairie drought.
I think we need to call it what it is at this point in time.
And helping the vaccination effort, one booking at a time.
This is amazing. We went through the supply, we're getting people protected.
My conversation with two of the vaccine hunters. This is The National. Would you like some hopeful COVID news? Well, for Canadians everywhere, the next few months could start to look and feel like something approaching normal. As the third wave recedes, health officials have laid out the path to fewer restrictions. For many, that will mean a return to seasonal fun, from barbecues to getting back into the swing of outdoor sports. But it all hinges on hitting vaccination targets. Today, more than 425,000 people got their shot. Christine Burak looks ahead into the summer and then to an even freer fall.
From sitting on a patio with friends this summer to small dinner parties by fall, that's the promise if we stay on this track as more Canadians get their first and second COVID vaccine doses. Overall, coronavirus cases are coming down, even if some regions are still struggling.
On a national level, we're seeing hopeful signs that we've passed the peak of the third wave.
And with that, health officials released a highly anticipated roadmap to recovery. To start, Canadians need to stay apart for the next few weeks. Cases are still high and vaccine coverage is low, noting people should get vaccinated. But come summer, if roughly 75% of Canadians have one dose and 20% have a second, then restrictions start to lift, allowing for small outdoor gatherings like camping, hiking, and picnics. By fall, if 75% of those eligible for vaccines have received 2 shots, more restrictions will lift, opening the door to indoor gatherings with people outside your household.
All this is possible so long as cases remain low. If cases go up again, all these metrics are sort of out the window.
With the United States and the UK dramatically lowering restrictions, experts say Canada's plan is more cautious.
We're on the ramp to normal. We really are on the ramp to normal. It's going to be faster than many people predicted, but maybe not fast enough for many.
And for those waiting months for their second dose of Pfizer vaccine, more good news.
The 3-month boost provided a stronger antibody response by quite a lot.
Details haven't been released yet, but British researchers say people over 80 who waited 12 weeks for their second shot had 3 times the peak antibody levels over those who waited only 3 weeks.
It's immensely reassuring and actually, I think, really adds to our comfort with the current plan.
It's been such a long road and the path ahead is still tricky, but vaccine supplies are ramping up weekly by the millions, and many see those shots as our ticket out of this pandemic. Christine Burak, CBC News, Toronto.
We're watching a developing story, news released by the Department of National Defence late on a Friday. The public face and officer in charge of Canada's vaccine rollout has left his assignment with the Public Health Agency of Canada pending the results of a military investigation. Major General Danny Fortin was given the job last November. In a brief statement, DND said it will be reviewing its next steps, but didn't describe any allegations against Fortin or explain the nature of the investigation. In the Middle East, the violence between Israel and Gaza continues, and it's also spreading to the West Bank with clashes in several towns between Palestinians and Israeli forces, and also to Israel's border with Lebanon. Meanwhile, Palestinian militants continue their rocket fire into Israel, and Israeli airstrikes continue to pound Gaza with its military massed at the Gaza frontier. Margaret Evans has our story tonight from Jerusalem. Margaret?
Ian, the calls for a ceasefire are mounting, but so far there is not one in sight. The shadow of this conflict clings to the skies above Gaza with increasing intensity, the emerging pattern already familiar. By day, there is grief. Here, mourning for a dead child, one of the latest victims of Israeli airstrikes in Gaza. What has this baby done? Asks the child's father. We were sitting safely at home. We didn't hear a warning rocket. Israelis have also lost children. Hamas, the militant group in control of Gaza, has fired an estimated 2,000 rockets at Israel over the past week, some hitting their mark with devastating effect. But it is the speed with which the conflict is moving beyond the Hamas versus Israel narrative alone that is less familiar here, especially the ugly scenes of crowds of Jewish and Arab Israelis attacking each other. The occupied West Bank is now roiling too. At least 10 Palestinians left dead, according to the Palestinian Ministry of Health, after post-Friday prayer demonstrations and confrontations with Israeli soldiers. Calls for a ceasefire are piling up.
The fighting has the potential to unleash an uncontainable security and humanitarian crisis and to further foster extremism, not only in the occupied Palestinian territory in Israel, but in the region as a whole.
Next door in Jordan, police clashed with demonstrators trying to reach the West Bank, and pro-Palestinian marchers in Lebanon did manage to cross the border, albeit briefly. Israeli leaders have said they want to go a good deal further in destroying the Hamas infrastructure in Gaza before they will agree to a ceasefire. Last night, Israeli airstrikes targeted a network of tunnels stretching beneath Gaza, said to be used by Hamas for smuggling. False reports of an Israeli ground offensive reportedly sending senior Hamas commanders underground. Today, Palestinian families living along Gaza's northern border with Israel began moving away from it, seeking shelter at UN schools, fearful a ground invasion may still be coming.
Margaret, you've covered this region and its conflicts for a long time. Is there any sense of what comes next or how this ends?
Well, if you're looking at patterns, Ian, I think the question is, will this encounter between Israel and Hamas follow previous conflicts where you essentially have a lot more loss of life, eventually a ceasefire is negotiated, and then you have a return to the status quo where everybody forgets to even address the root causes of the conflict? Or are we actually witnessing something quite different where things might actually get so bad it prompts a course change of some sort, be it for better or for worse?
Margaret Evans in Jerusalem, thank you. Here at home, Vancouver area police again put gangs on notice today. They vow to crack down on gun violence after yet another deadly shooting in a busy public place. Greg Rasmussen has the story.
Is it a white SUV? White SUV, yeah.
The immediate aftermath of this latest deadly shooting in an area crowded with people.
There was a lot of pop, 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 and then we heard sirens and sirens. It sounded like it was a gunfight, not just a shooting, but a gunfight.
People were flipping their tables to protect themselves from the gunshots.
This server at a nearby restaurant says people were sent scrambling.
It was really scary. We all ducked and I didn't know what to do. I literally thought I was going to get shot. Yeah.
First responders could be seen trying to save the victim found in his car. The woman who shot this video was afraid to be identified because she was only about 15 meters away when the shooting started.
Every day there seems to be a shooting, and people should be able to go about their business and, not be caught in the crossfires of these shots.
The latest victim, 23-year-old Jaskirt Kalkat, was known to police and had ties to gangs. A woman and a second man were also shot but are expected to survive.
This is not a war. These are reckless young men who happen to have access to very dangerous weapons.
Since mid-April, 7 men have been shot to death in the Vancouver area, most in busy public locations, including Vancouver International Airport, a park, outside a recreation center, and near stores and restaurants.
We are losing a lot of South Asian young men to this violence.
Many of the victims have ties to South Asian gangs, a concern for those working to head off further violence.
Definitely, there is a worry about stigma in the community that all youth are going to start getting labeled as you're in a gang.
From the police, a fresh warning.
For those who are involved in this, we are coming after you.
In this latest case, so far, no arrests. Only a burnt-out vehicle found later that night. Police suggest it was used in the getaway. Greg Rasmussen, CBC News, Vancouver.
For some analysis, we're joined by Cash Heed, a former senior Vancouver City police officer, including with responsibility for dealing with gangs, and a former provincial solicitor general. And Cash, we're seeing this recklessness in this series of murders. What's going on here?
We've got a younger generation that are involved in this, and the frequency of these events occurring in public places is very, very alarming. They don't care who is around. They've got easy access to firearms. They've got this bravado attitude. They want to live life quickly, and they want to live it hard, knowing full well that they may be a victim in this behavior.
Police are talking tough here, Cash. They clearly want to stop it. How likely is it that they can stop this pattern of shootings?
They're not going to be able to with the current strategies that are being employed at this particular time. The banging the fists on the table, blaming the families, pointing the fingers at others because they're not coming forward with information. We've gone through this previously. So if you utilize that or you default to that particular strategy, you will be unsuccessful in ensuring that you're able to suppress the activity.
And I know you've got some ideas on alternatives, and on another night, we'll talk about that. Cash Heed, thank you.
Thank you.
Political discord continued today within the Alberta government after 2 MLAs were expelled from the United Conservative Party caucus. As Carolyn Dunn shows us, the apparent divisions within the Kenney government might not be entirely healed.
Perhaps there was nowhere to go but down for Alberta Premier Jason Kenney, wildly popular when elected, far less so 2 years later.
This is a leadership issue, and that's what this whole issue is. And I was representing my constituents and their concerns over the leadership of the party.
It all started yesterday when Lowen wrote a public letter about his boss saying the UCP was out of touch and arrogant under Kenney's leadership and calling on Kenney to resign. Instead, it prompted a marathon 7-hour caucus meeting in which Lowen was booted from its ranks, along with MLA Drew Barnes, another vocal critic of Kenney's. Barnes says Kenney could have avoided this.
Instead, if he would have acknowledged that he's a big part of the problem and taken some responsibility for Albertans feeling so frustrated.
Kenney insists the ouster of the 2 MLAs was the will of caucus, not his own, and in an interview with a local Edmonton radio station suggested his problems have been purged.
I believe I have the confidence of the party that I lead and the caucus I serve with, and I'm governing on the largest Democratic mandate in Alberta history.
But no one is revealing how close the vote was, leaving a big question mark over how united Kenney's caucus really is.
So there are so many different fissure lines now within the UCP. Rural, urban, progressive conservative versus wild rose, government versus backbench.
The only declared leadership candidate of the upstart Wild Rose Independence Party says he has been having confidential discussions with other UCP MLAs.
Well, our doors are always open to freedom fighters and those who have an independent thought process. And yes, we'll continue with discussions with them.
So with one leadership crisis over, another could be lurking around the corner. Carolyn Dunn, CBC News, Calgary.
There was a stern warning today from health officials in Manitoba.
If we continue to follow the model, we could be seeing high case counts throughout the summer. And the current trends lead to the health system becoming closer to being overwhelmed.
Officials say the province is doing worse than expected, both in daily case counts and most recently, ICU admissions. Vaccinations, however, are speeding up, and bookings have hit a record high after the province expanded eligibility to those 12 and up today. A court has ordered the doors locked at a southern Ontario church and fined its pastor after repeated violations of COVID-19 gathering rules. The Church of God has continued Sunday services with congregations of up to 200 maskless people gathering without physical distancing. Nova Scotia has also moved to shut down an unauthorized public gathering.
There's no question these people don't believe in science, they don't believe in masks, vaccines. This is nothing more than an alt-right group that wants to protest.
The Premier, Ian Rankin, says his government has obtained a court injunction to block an anti-mask rally planned for this weekend. The injunction calling the planned protest an illegal public gathering and prohibiting people from promoting it on social media. Organizers say they will cancel the gathering. Today, Toronto launched its first walk-in vaccine clinic focused on the city's Latin American community. It has a disproportionate number of COVID-19 cases, and people in that community can face obstacles to getting their shots. Joanna Remiliotis shows us a solution.
In a city of stark inequities, a vaccine means so much to those at greater risk. This is about giving vulnerable people a fair shot at safety.
I feel more safe because I think I feel better with my family. I can care my family and everyone.
There have been many pop-up clinics, but this is the first specifically for the Latin American community, driven by community leaders who reached out to a nearby hospital for help.
It's also very personal to me because I lived those struggles when I first came to Canada, and I don't want newcomers and people arriving in Canada and don't have the information or the knowledge of the system to go through the same struggles.
Toronto's Latin American community makes up about 3% of the city's population, but accounts for nearly 9% of COVID cases. Many are newcomers who work as essential workers. Some have no immigration status or even a health card.
And you need a health card number to book an appointment through the system, and also lack of status, the immigration status. So in order to bring vaccination for everybody at large in the community, we try to make it first come, first served, make a line, and in that way everybody will have the chance.
For me personally, I feel with a lot of pain.
There has been so much heartbreak already. A local priest has conducted several funerals a week, often with no one else present. The cremated remains of 2 people who died of COVID are still in his church.
They are sitting in their 2 little boxes because they don't have family. So I am their family.
The hope is to keep running these clinics until there is no more need to protect those who need it most. Joanna Remiliotis, CBC News, Toronto.
Online translation tools can help us learn a new language or let people view foreign websites in a different language. But the artificial intelligence, or AI, behind them has a blind spot. It often can't tell the difference between a legitimate term and one that is racist. Jorge Barrera shows us.
Imagine scrolling for toys on Amazon and finding this. The N-word used to describe a black-colored action figure. And it's here again to describe a do-rag. The seller, a Chinese company, likely using a translation program powered by artificial intelligence, or AI.
AI has a race problem. AI research, development, and production is really driven by people that are blind to the impact that race and racism has on shaping not just technological processes, but our lives in general.
In fact, AI seems to be riddled with examples. Baidu, China's top search engine, also offers the N-word as a translation option for the Chinese character for a black person. A study earlier this year found that a cutting-edge language program also showed an anti-Muslim bias by auto-completing this sentence with violent words 66% of the time.
If you just simply type in 2 Muslims, and then the AI system for GPT-3 would oftentimes complete it with things like 2 Muslims are terrorists.
But why is this happening? Like a front-end loader, programs indiscriminately scrape the internet for data, scooping up everything they can find, from old books to song lyrics. It's then dumped and processed by AI programs, but filtering offensive language would also effectively censor historical text, art, and cultural references.
They're not looking at who we want to be, who we want to be our best selves. They're looking at who we have been.
Some people say that it's the data that's the problem. Like, people are just racist, sexist, and there's no way of getting around that.
That's powering a raging debate in the technology world. Let these programs continue learning on their own until they catch up to society, or intervene at the code level. But that has its own risks.
whatever you impose on the model will reflect your own personal kind of bias, because you're choosing to tell the model what to do. So that's kind of like another line of work to figure out.
After CBC News contacted Amazon, it removed the description. The company says it has safeguards to keep racist language out, but the word slipped through. Amazon says it regrets the error. Jorge Barrera, CBC News, Ottawa.
Some prairie farmers are in the middle of an extreme drought.
It's just bone dry.
Next on The National, the growing concern for food, water, and the economy.
It's like losing the automotive industry out of Southern Ontario.
They have helped hundreds of thousands get their shots.
It's been a really wild ride from the beginning to now.
What's next for Canada's vaccine hunters? And what do they think about all the attention?
I want a refund.
Sunwing customers are still waiting for their money back.
They've got the government loans and they've got all that customers' money.
Is the airline running out of runway? We're back in 2. Some impressive images from one of Central America's most active volcanoes, this in Guatemala. The region has seen intense explosions and ash falls since February. Nearby communities have been on high alert for the possibility of an evacuation. Prairie farmers are facing a tough growing season before seeds have even gone into the ground this spring. Much of Alberta, Saskatchewan, and Manitoba are abnormally dry. And most of the farmland in southern Saskatchewan and Manitoba is in moderate to extreme drought. As Cameron McIntosh tells us, that could jeopardize crops, threaten the water supply, and increase the risk of fires.
It's just bone dry.
Looking out on his fields, all Chuck Fossey can really do is wait and hope that something is going to grow out in that dust and dirt.
There's nothing there to support the seed and the crop to grow.
You see it's about 1.5 inches of dry dirt before you start finding any moisture.
He's seen drought before, but never a May like this. Still, he's trying, seeding deeper than normal, hoping to find some moisture.
If we don't get a rain probably in the next 2 weeks, a nice general soaking rain, we're probably talking a crop failure out here in Manitoba.
Just 1/3 of normal precipitation has fallen here this year.
Further west you go, the worse it gets. Southwestern Manitoba and southeastern Saskatchewan, both considered to be under extreme drought conditions right now. One place you really see it is in the rivers.
In spring, flooding is usually the worry along the Souris River near Brandon. That's it today. Those rocks are normally at least a meter underwater.
This is a real telling fact.
Bill Campbell is president of Manitoba's main farm group. He says drought is already impacting grains and livestock.
You kind of hate to use the word drought, but I think we need to call it what it is at this point in time.
We need days of rain, multiple day rain events.
Climate researcher John Pomeroy says it's part of a broader North American drought. Hits to the Canadian economy could be severe.
It's like losing the automotive industry out of southern Ontario. It's something on that scale of a severe drought.
Some towns are worrying about water reserves. Forest fires are already flaring up in Manitoba. Chuck Fossey is just hoping for the best.
Dry is dry, and nothing grows without water. That's just a fact of life.
For now, those dusty fields aren't looking promising. Cameron McIntosh, CBC News, near Starbuck, Manitoba.
Climate change means growing seasons are getting longer in Canada, and in cities, urban gardeners are experimenting with an exotic array of new plants. As Inayat Singh explains, the biodiversity can help cities prepare for the worst impacts of a warming planet.
I'm growing lemongrass in a shooter.
In her tiny Toronto backyard, Jewel Gomes is experimenting with plants from warmer climes, like South American Zimbalo melons and Japanese ruby buckwheat. Gomes is part of a growing community of gardeners having success trading and growing seeds from all around the world here in Canada.
So 2 years ago, we started experimenting growing rice in the garden, and we did it, and we had that grains, and we could not believe it.
Gomes, an agronomist by training from the Philippines, has been inundated with requests for her exotic seeds, even from indigenous farmers. They gave her rare blue corn in exchange for the seeds they wanted.
It's really amazed me because some people appreciate what we are growing here. They're looking for the seeds. They're reaching out for the seeds. Winter squash.
Researchers say urban gardeners like Gomes are also helping cities prepare for the worst impacts of climate change by increasing biodiversity and replacing paved surfaces with soil.
Just a simple things such as managing stormwater, keeping a penetrable surface that a vegetable production facility can offer, absorbing rainwater, which reduces flooding. It's not a paved surface, so it's not pushing water away.
Urban gardeners also help show what kinds of new crops can be commercialized. Okra is one vegetable that is now grown in Canada after urban gardeners first tried it out.
These are people who are agronomists or agriculturalists from other parts of the world. They have training in this, professional training. It's really amazing what you learn from someone who is just puttering around at home, but with that experimental mindset.
Experimentation that's helping the environment and proving city gardens can be important places for food production at the same time. Inayat Singh, CBC News, Toronto.
Next, I'll talk to two vaccine hunters helping Canadians get their shots.
You kind of step back and say, oh, right, this is amazing.
They'll explain what's driving them to volunteer and what they're thinking about all this attention they're getting. Plus,
want a refund?
Sunwing customers want to know why they are still waiting as other airlines are issuing full refunds. You may have seen a version of this vaccine selfie online or maybe posted one yourself, but the vaccine is more than just a picture. It's a moment of coming together, of hope. And take a look at the captions to many of these pictures. Thank you messages to a group that's become an integral part of the vaccine rollout for many in Canada. They are the Vaccine Hunters, volunteers whose efforts have helped hundreds of thousands of Canadians get vaccinated, alerting them about pop-up clinics, helping them book their appointments, and teaming up with familiar faces to answer questions. And two members of Vaccine Hunters Canada join us tonight. Josh Kalpin is in Toronto, and Vita Mikołajczuk is in North Vancouver. Thanks to both of you for being here.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks for having us.
Vita, let's start with you. What were you doing before you became a vaccine hunter, and why did you join up?
So previously I was in the film industry, and I now have some time, and I was happy to help people find vaccines. So
and what was it that drew you in? Like, what did you hear, or what intrigued you?
I had been, every morning I'd Google Canada vaccine, BC vaccine, and then stumbled upon our founder's post on Reddit. So I joined, and at the beginning it was just a couple of us, and it's been amazing to see us grow.
Josh, you've been there pretty well from the beginning. You were the second member to join back in March. Tell us again, like, kind of what you were doing before and what drew you in.
Yeah, so my full-time job, I work as a software developer. I still am doing that job, even though my manager is very understanding of how much time this takes. But I really joined on because I was just trying to protect my family, I think, like so many other Canadians here. Was looking for appointments for aunts and uncles, parents, and then I stumbled upon the community on Discord, and I got helped out with booking an appointment for one of my aunts, and then I started doing the same, and then it kind of exploded from there. So it's been a really wild ride from the beginning to now.
And Vita, as I understand it, your volunteering is basically full-time. What do you do? I don't know if there's a typical day for you as a vaccine hunter, but basically what do you do?
Well, I'm a contributor and a moderator, so I will go through pharmacy listings to see if there are any available slots. I'll direct people to the right place to book, as well as, know the messaging from the BC government like the back of my hand, and point people in the right direction. And yeah, it's definitely full time. I very much enjoy it. I really love the community, and all of our moderators are super cool.
Josh, whether it's happening in BC or Ontario or anywhere else, clearly this is a really important service for people. Clearly there's a lot of work and a certain level of expertise involved. And so some people are wondering, why aren't you guys getting paid? What's your view on that?
I look at it this way. We don't really need the money as an organization. I know Vita is working full-time doing this, but really we just want to get back to normal. We want our cities back. We want our country back. We want to be able to give our friends, our family, our grandparents hugs again. We just want to have life back to normal. And sure, we could make money out of this, but that's not the point. The point here is to protect everyone and to keep our country safe. And we don't need the money to do that. We just need to help people. And that's as simple as that.
Vita, I'm not sure what kind of feedback you get. I mean, we've seen all of this fantastic feedback online, but are you getting a sense of how people are appreciating your work, and what's that like for you?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes we have people come back and say, thank you so much. You helped me find a vaccine. And sometimes, we'll, as an example, one of our users posted a flyer from their local pharmacy that the pharmacy had supply. We boosted that, we posted it on our Twitter, and then the next day we found out that pharmacy had gone through their entire supply in one day. So you get that a lot, and you kind of step back and say, oh, right, this is amazing. We went through the supply, we're getting people protected, and people are going to be able to see their family just a little bit sooner.
Yeah, no kidding. You did that, right? All you and all of your colleagues. Now, Josh, Vaccine Hunters is branching out. We saw a short excerpt of a panel that the organization hosted, and for example, Dr. Lenora Saxinger, an infectious disease doctor who's a frequent guest on this program, was part of that panel. How did it go?
I think it was a smashing success. I think what we're seeing now, the first phase, I think, of our organization was very much let's try and just figure out where there's appointments. Now we're more of, okay, there's so many different clinics. How can we individually figure out who's eligible where and all these other different things? I think we're going to hit a phase now where majority of Canadians will be eligible for vaccination in a few weeks, where it's going to shift from getting to the people that really want it to trying to get to the people that are a little scared or unsure or things like that. And I think that this educational material that we're doing with this healthcare team is just the beginning of that. And that's really where the panel came from. And I think there's a lot of things coming up too. There's kids getting their vaccines. 12 to 17 is eligible parts of the country and soon to be everywhere. We'll have even younger kids, hopefully, towards the end of the summer. So there's a lot of people to reach out to, and there's a lot to come still, even though we've done so much.
Vita is talking about feedback. There's also a lot of talk about what's next for you guys, and I want to give you a sample of what some people are saying on social media. TSN's Jay Onright says, give everyone involved with Vax Hunters Canada the Order of Canada. Everyone, just do it now. And Seb wrote, can we get Vax Hunters Canada spin-off that will just tell us which McDonald's have ice cream machines that are working? So kind of more lighthearted. Vito, how does that kind of feedback make you feel?
It feels great. I mean, the fact that people have been vaccinated, have helped their friends and family get vaccinated is really reward enough.
And Josh, we have maybe about half a minute. What's next for this organization? How big is it going to get?
Well, we just probably hit about 100 different members of the organization itself, which is kind of remarkable considering about 6 or 7 weeks ago we were just 1 or 2 of us. But really what's next, more of those healthcare panels, more vaccine hesitancy information stuff. You're going to see a lot more stuff towards kids coming up soon. That's our next big focus. We started tweeting and sending updates in different languages, and that's something we're really going to be pushing across the country as well. We now have a TikTok account, an Instagram account, where we're starting Twitch, YouTube. So we really just want to reach everybody wherever they possibly can be. And that's kind of the next steps here as we shift from, okay, not that many appointments to tons of vaccine and trying to get people first shots. And then we still got to get all those second shots too before we can remove the masks and do everything that we used to do. So a lot coming up and still a lot of work ahead.
Well, it's an extraordinary thing that the two of you and your many colleagues have done, and I know a lot of people appreciate it. Thanks for speaking with us.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
And we're going to change our focus in a few minutes. Another violent night in the Middle East. Next on The National, senior correspondent Paul Hunter looks at why the conflict has erupted again.
This free app brings you the news you want, local and international. Easy to use and easy to set the way you like. Get the free CBC News app today.
From the violence today in the West Bank to the airstrikes in Gaza to the rockets streaking into Israel, all of it too familiar to those who have followed the Middle East closely. But the escalation this past week is the worst in years. Paul Hutter shows us why this conflict has erupted now, what's fueling it, and why it fits a pattern that could easily be repeated.
Relentlessly violent, bringing at once endless misery and retaliation in both directions, the Israeli-Palestinian conflict has again suddenly exploded. The underlying issues are long-standing. The Israeli blockade of the Gaza Strip and its occupation of the West Bank, the threat posed to Israel by Hamas, Islamic Jihad, and other militants in Gaza, together leaving the region in a kind of permanent tension at the best of times. Into that, last month, defiance from Israelis and Palestinians. Israeli police and Palestinians battled outside the old city of Jerusalem. A disputed Israeli push to evict Palestinians from a neighborhood in occupied East Jerusalem. Restrictions on worshippers at the Al-Aqsa Mosque leading to fierce battling at a place sacred to Muslims worldwide. And violence soon spread to towns across Israel. That sparked intense rocket fire from the Gaza Strip and an intense response by the Israeli military. All of it leaving Israelis and Palestinians again on the brink of all-out war.
I've learned to tell people not to say that it's a complex problem. It's really not. It's really about power and fear.
Nizar Farsak, a former advisor to Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas, underlines the power and fear held by Israelis and Palestinians are the enemy of trust.
There has always been this equilibrium of terror, right? And not so ironically, actually, both people understand each other very well and know exactly what terrifies them, and therefore they leverage that, right?
7 years ago, the last time violence in the region was this fierce, CBC News witnessed the result inside the Gaza Strip.
I mean, it's incredible. I don't know what words to use.
And as well, in Israel. Now, 7 years later, after a time of relative calm, it's back, deepened by current politics in the region. Firing most of those rockets into Israel, Hamas, the militants in control of Gaza, almost certainly see taking on Israel as a political positive. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is in a battle to keep his job, and standing up to Palestinians has rarely hurt any leader in that country.
This may be a way for him to stay in power. It makes
Dan Levy, a former Israeli peace negotiator, wonders where this goes next. Remember the violence in 2014? It ended in a deal brokered by Egypt, but then nothing else really changed. So now Levy wonders,
why has the period of quiet not been used in order to end the blockade of Gaza, in order to allow Palestinian life to breathe in Gaza, and we've kept it at this level of tension where another development like this was inevitable?
With compromise needed on both sides, equally inevitable, say so many, is that this latest violence will end somehow, only to likely begin again someday.
So, Paul, you're in Washington, which has in the past at least taken a lead role in trying to calm tensions. What are we hearing from there now?
From the U.S. today, Ian, carefully chosen words. The White House saying the U.S. opposes any civilian deaths and wants a de-escalation of the violence and a stable peace. The comments are seen as a counter to Biden critics, some within his own party, that he'd been too supportive of Israel and its right to defend itself, and that Biden hadn't made much mention of what's been happening to Palestinians this week. Meanwhile, A U.S. envoy arrived in Israel today for separate meetings with the Palestinian and Israeli leaderships. But one of the challenges faced by Biden in flexing that U.S. influence is that though his envoy will be meeting with the Palestinian president in the West Bank, the Palestinian president has effectively zero sway over the Hamas leadership in Gaza. Likewise, of course, the U.S. itself. So everything's got to be done back channel via other countries. Egypt, for example. It complicates an already complicated circumstance.
Thanks, Paul.
Right.
Next on The National, Sunwing customers say they are still waiting on pandemic refunds.
My scare is that they're going to go bankrupt and then we're going to be part of their debtors and we're getting nothing.
So other major airlines are doing it. Why not Sunwing? When Ottawa bailed out the country's battered airline industry last month, refunds were part of the deal, but Sunwing has been sticking to credit vouchers. And as Diane Buckner explains, it's left their customers asking, what's the holdup?
So this is my wedding dress.
Jillian Wilson and her fiancé had planned to get married on a Caribbean beach. Then COVID hit and Sunwing canceled their flight.
I'm not going to take it out and spoil the surprise because I do hope to someday wear it.
She says the airline has kept the $75,000 it collected from the couple and their 40 guests, offering everyone a travel credit voucher. But she and her guests want their money back.
They might not want to come or might not be even comfortable with traveling.
I want a refund. I'm unemployed. I can use the money.
Glenn Waddingham and his wife were supposed to go to Grand Cayman Island.
I'm shocked that the Better Business Bureau and the federal government is allowing one tour operator to act in this manner.
Sunwing is the only major Canadian carrier still not offering refunds for flights it canceled due to the pandemic. Air Canada and Air Transat started to do that a month ago after getting government loans. Sunwing has also arranged millions in financing from Ottawa, but is still not returning passengers' money. It also didn't reply to our request for an interview.
Arguably, Sunwing's had a bit of a double benefit here, right? They've got the government loans and they've got all that customers' money.
The loans Ottawa gave the other airlines were specifically for refunds, though. Sunwing is still negotiating that type of assistance. In a statement to CBC News, the Finance Minister's office says the federal government fully expects Sunwing to uphold its commitment to refund customers and that conversations continue to ensure this happens.
My scare is that they're going to go bankrupt and then we're going to be part of their debtors and we're getting nothing.
Gillian Wilson did get married last year in Canada with a justice of the peace. She still hopes to celebrate with friends and family.
If restrictions are to lift around here, maybe we'll do something more locally.
The expense of a party would definitely be easier to handle if she can ever get her money back from Sunwing. Diane Buckner, CBC News, Stratford, Ontario.
We're going to introduce you to a couple in Toronto that really misses dining out at a restaurant, but no dining room, no patio, no problem. The moment is next.
there aren't many Asian rappers.
Look like Tony Dance. It's like the hip-hop elitists that want to tear me down because like they're not used to seeing a little diminutive Asian girl.
With Toronto patios still closed because of COVID restrictions, this couple set up a unique rig to ensure they could dine out safely. It all started when they were trying to meet up with family outdoors a while back to share a meal, so they found a little pick-me-up, and that's our moment.
It's really difficult to get out and do anything right now, and I think we saw it as a way to just get out and enjoy ourselves, have a little fun, and do it while not breaking any rules. I mean, really simply, we just have a folding table, just pop up, set it up, and then a couple chairs to go along with it. Honestly, the convenience of having a truck in the city, not useful for much else, but that and construction.
It's honestly, for me, it's definitely just a change in scenery. You know, you spend so long inside, it's nice to just go outside and be able to eat kind of like normal.
Honestly, the reaction's been really nice. When we did it downtown, we had, every third or fourth car, there'd be somebody laughing. We had 5 or 6 people come up and take our photo. We just had a lot of people really enjoying themselves and putting a smile on people's faces as they went by. It was just something kind of novel and unique, and I think brightened a lot of people's day, which was nice. We even had somebody we knew walk by and just came and stopped and said hello, so it was almost like a normal day.
You know, with Diane Buckner on the show a little earlier on, maybe I'm thinking Dragon's Den, but it feels like just the perfect pitch, although wouldn't really work post-pandemic, but patio to go. How could you not turn that into the next big thing? I think there's a way to not turn that into the next big thing. Anyway, that is the National for May 14th. A week ago, I had entirely the wrong month, so fairly confident it is May 14th. And I hope you can join me on Sunday for Cross Country Checkup on CBC Radio. It starts at 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 Pacific, and then later that evening back here on the National. Good night.